What happens when royal entitlement collides with blunt American honesty? You get one of the most unforgettable TV clashes in recent memory. The moment Prince Harry sat across from Bill Maher on the HBO stage, tension was thick, but no one could have predicted just how explosive things would get. This wasn't just an interview. It was a full-on cultural collision, a battle between carefully curated narratives and cold, hard questions. If you thought you knew what happened, think again. What unfolded next wasn't polished PR or late-night comedy. It was raw, it was real, and it was destined to go viral. The interview began with an air of civility. Maher greeted Prince Harry with a grin, acknowledging his busy schedule and media presence since leaving royal life. Harry responded with poise, referencing his journey of self-discovery and the pursuit of his authentic voice. But even in those opening moments, Maher's eyebrow lifted ever so slightly. He wasn't buying it. The buzzwords, the media-trained smoothness, it all felt too staged. And Bill Maher? He's not one to let a guest coast on curated narratives. His smirk lingered as he prepared to cut through the fluff with the first real jab. Without missing a beat, Maher pointed out the lucrative deals Harry's made, books, Netflix, Spotify, and asked if his authentic voice was just another cash grab. The audience chuckled, but Harry's smile thinned. Trying to defend himself, he claimed that he and Meghan had bills to pay like everyone else. That line didn't sit well with Maher, who swiftly reminded Harry that he lives in a $16 million mansion and employs a security team most Americans couldn't dream of affording. That's when things got tense. Maher wasn't pulling punches, and Harry was clearly getting rattled. Prince Harry's tone stiffened. He insisted that the conversation wasn't about money, but about using his platform for good. Maher laughed, calling out the irony of a man born into power, claiming to speak truth to power. The studio went quiet as Harry defended his right to critique the system he came from. Maher, unfazed, challenged him to name the systemic issues he was fighting. That's when Harry's voice rose. He spoke of scrutiny, of losing privacy, of being dissected by the media. Maher hit back hard, accusing Harry of feeding the same media he claimed to fear. When Harry mentioned Meghan's mental health struggles, things took an emotional turn. He recounted how the royal institution allegedly told her to just smile and get on with it, despite her suicidal thoughts. The studio froze. Maher acknowledged the seriousness, but pressed further. Why didn't they go to authorities instead of Oprah? Harry, visibly shaken, said he was trying to protect his family, not destroy it. Maher didn't budge. He pointed out that airing grievances in the media, then demanding privacy, was a contradiction. Harry's frustration boiled over, and his voice cracked with raw emotion as he tried to defend his choices. As the emotional tempo peaked, Maher challenged Harry's sense of victimhood. He reminded the prince of his extreme privilege, education, safety, wealth, and questioned whether Harry truly understood oppression. Harry shot back that money doesn't protect against emotional trauma or racism. But Maher, now standing, pressed again. Hadn't the royal family treated him with respect when the Queen passed? Hadn't they welcomed him back despite everything? Harry called that appearances, not genuine support. But Maher saw it differently, arguing that Harry's consistent public attacks had eroded the very grace he was now demanding from his family and the public. The two men were now locked in a fierce philosophical battle about duty, responsibility, and personal accountability. Harry insisted he had lost everything: his home, his family, his identity. Maher fired back that Harry had gained plenty: brand deals, Hollywood friendships, and global attention. Harry grew louder, accusing the British press and public institutions of manipulating narratives and turning victims into villains. Maher, voice rising, accused Harry of crafting a performance, monetizing pain while demanding empathy. The more Harry tried to explain, the more Maher highlighted the contradictions. The air was charged. Every sentence now felt like a spark landing on gasoline. Harry, visibly trembling, demanded respect. He said Maher couldn't understand the death threats, the lies, the invasion of privacy. Maher's tone shifted for a beat. He said death threats were terrible, but not unique to Harry's experience. Then he delivered the gut punch. Most people don't use trauma to justify burning bridges. That line struck deep. Harry shouted that his family had thrown them to the wolves, feeding stories to the press. Maher mocked the claim, reminding Harry of the lavish wedding, the titles, the staff, the negotiations. To Maher, Harry didn't walk away. He nuked the bridge and filmed it. What pushed Harry over the edge wasn't just Maher's words. It was the fact that Maher wasn't afraid to say what others danced around. When Harry accused him of not understanding, Maher took offense, citing his own family's history of fleeing oppression. Harry walked that back, but Maher wouldn't let it go. He accused Harry of playing the race card whenever challenged. The prince, now red with frustration, denied it. But Maher leaned in, saying Harry had surrounded himself with yes men and forgot how to face real accountability. Harry protested, but the fire was gone from his voice. Doubt had crept in. Harry rose again, stepping toward the exit, but Maher's voice followed. "You can walk away from this just like you walked away from your family." That line hit like a hammer. Harry spun back, furious. "I left to protect my family," he roared. Maher replied calmly, "No, you left because you didn't like the criticism." The accusation echoed. Harry lashed out again, demanding that Maher stop judging what he didn't understand. Maher didn't flinch. He said Harry had never faced real consequences in life, that even now this public meltdown was another example of what happens when someone's always been shielded from hard truths. With fists clenched and voice shaking, Harry shot back that the world owed his family basic human decency, not luxury. Maher nodded, saying Harry used his family as human shields. That line was brutal. Harry exploded. "You want to call me a coward?" Maher stayed cool, saying, "Respect is earned, and you haven't earned mine." Harry was done pretending to be polite. He accused Maher of being part of the same toxic culture that drove him and Meghan away. Maher laughed, saying Harry had never known real struggle. The back and forth had reached its boiling point, and the tension could have shattered glass. At this point, Harry moved closer to Maher, just inches from his face. He warned Maher to stop attacking his family. Maher didn't back down. "This is exactly the entitled behavior I'm talking about," he snapped. Harry denied threatening anyone, but Maher told him maybe he should stick to pre-approved interviews. Harry agreed. This was a mistake. He accused Maher of chasing ratings over truth. Maher responded that Harry started shouting first. Harry shouted back that he had been attacked since he sat down. "This isn't journalism," he barked. "It's character assassination." Maher laughed. "If that's how it feels, maybe look inward." And that was it. Harry erupted. "Security! Get me out of here!" he shouted, storming toward the exit. As guards moved in, Harry barked insults over his shoulder, calling Maher a washed-up comedian. Maher, calm but sharp, replied, "Who's really washed up here?" Harry turned back one last time to blame the media for everything. Maher stood his ground. "The only person being destroyed here is you, Harry, and you're doing it to yourself." With that, Harry was escorted off the set, still muttering about bias and disrespect. The studio was stunned. Maher straightened his tie, looked around, and smirked. As the exit doors closed behind the prince, the studio audience finally exhaled, then erupted in applause. Maher looked into the camera, his voice cool and clear. "That's what happens when privilege meets reality. When you've never been told no, the first time someone asks you to explain yourself feels like an attack." It wasn't just a celebrity moment. It was a culture clash in its purest form. Prince Harry had expected softballs and got a reality check. And in the process, we all witnessed something rare, the unraveling of a carefully guarded image. Was Maher too harsh, or did Harry earn it?